Thursdays, we get into most traded, most added, most dropped. Let's start with most traded. You can see the top 10 list here. You could also see the list on your trends under fantasynews.cbssports.com. Click on trends. You can see most added, most traded, most dropped.
Look at that pile of doo-doo.
Zach Greinke still the most traded player in
Thing is,
CBSSports.com
everybody's selling low on all these guys. There's not a player on this list where you're actually selling high.
Yeah, you had a nice buy low on David Wright the other day.
Yeah, I gave up a lot, though. I gave up
what was the trade?
Liriano. I gave up Francisco Liriano, Mike Pelfrey, 2 sell highs, of course, and then Mike Stanton. So I did give a lot for David Wright. And then the other trade for Mariano Rivera, I believe I gave up Tommy Hanson and Ian Kennedy. So two very aggressive deals. Well, I had 2 pitching staffs full worth of pitching in a roto league, and whenever you can trade pitching for hitting, do that. And I did that to get David Wright, and then I traded it for a closer because I really didn't have one on my roster.
This is which league?
This is the Fantasy Baseball Today League.
Okay. I want to talk about some of the guys on this list and some of the guys that are just on the most traded list. Mark Teixeira, he's playing through his toe injury, hit the ball off of his foot, hitting just 215. We know
he's going to be fine.
If you've been following Fantasy Baseball Today, Orestes Estrada made the great prediction of 3 home runs in one game in that particular week, and he did that against
I wish he would predict 10
the
homers
Red Sox
in the month of June for him.
Some trades of Teixeira recently, and these are just 1-for-1 trades. Obviously, there are a lot of 3-for-2s, 2-for-2s, but I just noted some of the 1-for-1s. He was traded for Ian Kinsler straight up, Fausto Carmona straight up, and Tim Lincecum straight up. Any of those trades?
The Carmona one is just complete junk.
Okay.
What were you thinking?
There's probably some dollar values associated with that, like Carmona $1 to share a 45 or something in a keeper league.
Well, I asked.
That's my only guess.
I asked specifically you use single leagues where they don't have keeper.
I just looked at the most traded, or all the recent trades.
I asked Azer to make sure he looks at single leagues,
Gotcha.
leagues that don't have keeper value.
Okay.
But Lincecum, that's about a fair deal. Both 2 struggling guys, 1 pitcher for hitter. Kinsler, another struggling guy, but position matters. Those 2 are fair. Kinsler and Lincecum. Carmona, that's just who would make that deal.
B.J. Upton, another struggling player, hitting 220. He was moved back to the leadoff spot to help boost some of his low production over recent games. Some of his trades recently are straight up for Derek Jeter, for Alfonso Soriano, and for Billy Butler. Any of those trades make any sense to you?
The Jeter one was a nice move up, even though Jeter's older. Upton is just so erratic. I'm the biggest B.J. Upton apologist, perhaps on this side of Tampa. And Butler, deep position. I know he's hitting like 340, but doesn't really provide the power there. I think those trades aren't that far off. I think the one for Jeter is probably the best value.
Johan Santana is currently got 15 scoreless innings going. I know, Emac, you think he's headed for a fall off in the summer. Scott, do you agree?
Yeah, I
would
agree.
you make some of these trades for? He was traded for Travis Snyder, Jason Worth, and Jose A. Bautista.
Yeah, those are some pretty bad trades, though. I mean, his velocity's down. I have a hard time believing he can sustain his current pace. But Travis Snyder is, again, I don't know why anyone would make that deal. He's injured and hasn't broken out yet. Jason Worth is a pretty decent trade. He's close to elite status among the outfielders.
He's struggling though recently.
He has struggled recently. Yeah, he'll be fine in the last 2 years.
What do you make of the Phillies' offense?
I think it's good. I think they just happened to slump at the wrong time.
That's the way slugging teams work. If you follow baseball over the years, slugging teams are notoriously streaky. They go on 10-game winning streaks and then 10-game losing streaks. And even the Phillies, I know they have Halladay, but without steady pitching, they're gonna go where their hitting goes.
How much does their lineup miss Jimmy Rollins?
They've been functional whaut Rollins before, so Rollins helps, but they can do it without him. Their big guys aren't going right now. Howard and Utley, those are the 2 most important, and they're in the deepest slumps of their recent careers.
Ibanez is down, and considering his
down
age,
and maybe even out.
Yeah, he might not be back. And with Rollins out, they've got a nothing hitter there. It's just a black hole in the lineup.
And Polanco's been banged up.
Yeah. So I mean, they're going to come around. They're still going to be one of the best offenses, but they're not as good as they were last year, I think is safe to say.